よめく進学か。やった。ここであんたを潰す。じゃあ行くよ。行くぞ。再構成します。清掃を開始。管理します。じゃあ行くよ。ダムされそう。アタック。わけ山の地。再構成します。
Oh, okay, so I don't even need that much defense. So I can probably remove... I can probably set this to Geo now at this point. Finding a Geo on set is going to be tough.
星と深淵を無事今日の依頼星と深淵清掃を開始します。いった。じゃあ行くよ。
雨描きがたし歌よ錦となれ。
はっ、料理の時間だ。燃えよ。リスンインさあトンはあ。
Oh, there, how's it going?
じゃあ行くよ。
この件はわか
話が通じないなら叩くま。よっあトンよっやめよっさあ。
お前は立派な相手だ。
I don't know. Oops. I just stream on my PS5. Or if you had been noticing lag before, then it could have been because maybe I was streaming on my PC before. I was streaming on my PC briefly while I was just AFKing in the game, but so that could have been what you saw.
歌よ錦となれ。
あさってしょ下がれ。よっさあどやめく進学か炎抜け。はあくらえ。さあよっトンはあウォーターよって水槽に
大ウルカ雨描きがたし。
くのね。料理の時間だよ。もうええよ。短所徹底。トンさあ。
Okay. Cool. But yeah, so I was basically AFKing in Final Fantasy on my PlayStation. So, oh fuck, run! I see. So they just respawn them to give you a chance to do them over and over again. But yeah, I was had to stay logged into Final Fantasy. You wouldn't have to, but I chose to. And so I had to. So, but stay logged in. That means I would have to. Oh, whoops! I should have done Bennett's first. Whoopsie.
さようなら。絹のような弱さね。やっは、料理の時間だよ。
Actually, let's get Bennett first, because I know this sure is snapshots. No, that was quick. But I know how to play those characters, so that's why. But yeah, so I was logged into my Final Fantasy 14 pretty much 24/7 to get every single possible S rank hunt available because they pop at such random. Their window, once they die, it takes another like 2 to 3 days before they respawn. Actually, it's usually like not even that. It's usually worse. It's like 3 to 4 days before they will reliably respawn. So it's like you have to be pretty much logged in all the time if you actually want to make it. Oh dang, I want to pop off her. So, okay. So that's why I was like, I had to be logged into doing that, but that means I can't play other games on my PlayStation because I have to be logged in because, you know, the 1 hour I step away to play another game to do my dailies in Genshin could be the 1 hour where they're like, oh, look, you know, like here, like, oh, look, here's, 5 hunts that all pop. So, very heavily encouraged to never ever leave. Oh shit, yeah. Never used Bennett, so. Oh, damn it. There we go. Group them up. Anyway, yeah. But basically, since I finally managed to do that, I managed to complete it, finally got all the S rank hunts I need, I was able to finally log out. And now I can just pop into the game when I feel like, instead of having to be logged in all the time, just so I don't miss anything. So now I'm back to playing pretty much all my games on PlayStation again. So my streaming might be better. But yeah, it's hard for me to tell because like streaming on PC is far more of a hassle, so I don't like it as much regardless. But I guess in terms of lag, I can't even tell. Like, unfortunately, it's like, yeah, for me everything looks fine, but I can't tell how it looks like from the user experience. So if you were experiencing lag, I can only assume it was because you caught me on those days where I was streaming on PC.
行くよ。やっよっくれせっゆったはっはっえいえへっさあオッケーそれ
I see. So that's how I do that. I was wondering how the fuck that was supposed to work.
あ、じゃあベランダの花がまた枯れてる。毎日水やりしてるのに。
It's her doppelganger.
山立ち加速するよ。オッケー。どれ注目。そっちあれドリフト
退路はない。今日疲れたか。裏をつくか。
じゃあ行くよ。
かかったな。獲物だ。
やるか。響け格のね。どれ絶対な。
退路はない。
オッケー。オッケー。 ずいぶん走り回ったし、そろそろ休もう。
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's like, I guess why didn't I have the net for the last one? It was a lot when the last one, I don't know, like I tried doing the net, but it didn't work. But it was in a time crunch. I hate being timed. Because I was like, oh, you have 10 minutes. But realistically, they're like, actually, no, you want to be in 210 seconds. So it's like, oh, shit. There's a tighter thing. And I tried using the net, but it didn't work. And I didn't have this time to check and see, oh, am I actually using it? Oh, cool. It smells nice. And then it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, like these ones use Kinich. It's like, great, awesome. So if you have never used him, like he is ridiculously, not really complicated really, but he is like incredibly unique. His playstyle is incredibly unique. So it's like, that's kind of a dick move, where it's like, hey, we're going to require Kinich to be used. His playstyle is incredibly unique. It requires a lot of practice before you kind of get used to it and figure out how it works. Oh, and by the way, you're on a clock. So not only do you have to do all this, but you have to do it on a time thing. Like Milani, by comparison, is not as hard because it's just like, yeah, even if you just button mash, you'll still be doing well. So it's not a huge problem. Oh, I see. That's why I need to. Okay, that's why they have so many things. They're assuming you're going to be, yeah. So you need Milani's speed. To do this, and that's why they have all these things. Realistically, you actually need both Jillian and Milani to do. Where the fuck did it go? There it is. Yeah, it's like high frequency attacks. Well, Jillian does high frequency attacks, not. Yeah, okay, I assumed as much. I thought it would be jump on this. Oh wow, that's actually really cool. Like they had done the jumps in other courses, but they haven't really like done much about them. They haven't done much with them. They hadn't really done much with the courses. But yeah, I actually think that's really cool. I kind of wish there was more, I wish there was more things that use the course like that. Where it's like, oh, okay. Like, I kind of wish there was like diverging paths. Where it's like you're on the thing, and you can either choose to jump, like, into that thing, which maybe takes you on a jumping path to another path. So essentially, I wish the racetracks had multiple paths, which you can use, like, either you're jumping between tracks, or you're getting into one of those jump circles to jump you off into another, completely unknown track. Like, I think that would be really cool. Like, if they had stuff like that. I don't know if they ever will. I don't know how difficult that would be to. Oh, I see. So I get. Yeah, shit. That's the bonus I get for. Yeah, 210 seconds. So that's 3.5 minutes. So you have to do it in 3.5 minutes. Even my longest one, I think. Oh wow, even the last one. This one was much longer. This is the Kinich one though. And the first time I ever used Kinich. Because I actually forgot to do his trial. I forgot to do, before his banner went up. Yeah, that was kind of annoying. Like some of them had the nets, and then like this one and the previous one didn't have nets. I'm like, oh, that's kind of annoying. Like, I need nets. And there's the bonus I get for this. I'm actually surprised they didn't force me to do all the previous ones. This is hers. Like, I was actually kind of expecting them to be like, oh, okay, well, you need to do 1 through 4 before you can do 5. But it's like, nah, if you just wait, you can just do 1 to clear it, and then 5, like 1 to trigger the final quest. You do just the first one. I don't even know if you have to do the first one or if you just have to do any one of them, any one of 1 through 4, or if 1 was needed. It's like, it's understandable. The quest took you to 1, so presumably that's the one you actually need to do. But, so yeah, like you can either do 1 and then immediately go to 5, and the reward is just for doing 5. So it's like, oh, okay. Okay, I guess I'll just pop back in. I guess that's all I really wanted to do. How long have I been? Only 38 minutes, jeez. Do I have a quest? I guess I do have a quest. Oh yeah, actually, I still have this one. Okay, let's just do this quest. It's 38 minutes isn't much time. I can play a little longer. Oh, I thought you were just gonna say like it's so incredibly sour or bitter or something. Oh, but yeah, this is how you should do button presses. So, X in this game is jump. The X in Visions of Mana was also jump. You know what you'd use in Visions of Mana to interact with NPCs? X. So basically, if you're too close to an NPC, you can't jump because you'll automatically target them and talk to them when you press X. That's bad. You shouldn't do that. You should make whenever you're designing your button presses and you're mapping your layout, you should always put things at mutually exclusive things. So I think in Visions of Mana, pressing square, I think is your normal attack, and that's what should be. So this is basically like this, like Genshin, where it's like, yeah. Well, I think circle is normal attack. I forget what square does. I'll have to press it once. Figure out what it is. Is circle? Yeah, I think circle is basic. Triangle is burst? Or no, yeah, triangle is burst. R2 is. I forget what square does. But basically, yeah, in Visions of Mana, it was like square to do your basic attack, triangle to do your heavy attack. But like the whole thing is that if you're talking to an NPC, chances are there aren't enemies nearby. So like you should map those two buttons together. And especially because in town, where you interact with the most number of NPCs, you can't even attack. You can't even whip out your sword and do anything with it. So it's like, oh, okay, well, it's perfect then in situations. In like 90% of all NPC interactions going to be done in a town. You might as well map the talk button to one of the buttons you can't otherwise use in town, instead of X, which you can still jump in town. So it's like, okay, so you chose to make X the interact button, which makes sense, you know, X to confirm, all that shit. And like once you open the menu, I think it should still be square to like open up the dialogue, and then you can still press X to continue the dialogue within the within that. So it's like, all it is just make a different button, like square or triangle in Visions of Mana, trigger NPC interactions, and then let X and circle be the confirm back buttons like normal, right? Because there were definitely times where you're just like, oh, okay, you wanted to jump, but you got a little too close to the NPC, and you started interacting with them. It's like, God damn it. So yeah, like, it's a very minor thing, but it's bad design. Like, you shouldn't design a game like that. You should make sure that, because, like, will you want to jump near NPCs? Yes, because even in towns they put collectibles and stuff, so you might want to be jumping around to get collectibles on rooftops and shit like that. So you will want to jump in town, but you also want to talk to NPCs. So why have those two buttons possibly conflict with each other? Just put it on square, because you can't even use square in towns, and just make that your NPC button. But it's just like lazy, right? Because it's like, oh, okay, well, interacting with an NPC is X, continuing the dialogue is X. Now, is it easy to swap that? Yeah, 100%. It's super fucking easy. It's just a check. So you just program because it's checking for X. Oh, are you near this person? And then you're listening for the X button. All you do is add another listener, right? You change the listener for the X button in town. I mean, just change the listener for X button, because the game's always listening for an interaction. The game's always listening to be like, hey, what buttons are you pressing? Like right now, in the game client, there is a listener waiting for any sort of button input. Now, it's only programmed to listen to these buttons. Well, technically, so it's programmed to listen to all buttons. It will hear your button. Like if I press R2 does nothing. I'm pressing R2 right now. It's doing nothing. The listener is picking it up, but ignoring it, because it's like, oh, well, in this situation, we don't have a R2. Like in this particular situation, we don't have a response for R2. So we hear the R2, we ignore it, because there's nothing. We are not programmed to do anything with it. But if I press the touchpad or the options button, it's listening for that and then initiating an action, right? And then once I do that, I don't need to press the options button again. I can press X again to get out of it. So it's listening for the X button. Just like in this normal situation, pressing X will continue the dialogue. So, like, that's the thing, is that you already have listeners for all the shit in town, So all you got to do is just be like, oh, okay, well, we're going to remove the interact with NPC option from the X button listener, from the X button listening code. So essentially, when you press X, it's going to trigger a segment of code. You just got to remove the action to interact with NPCs from that section of code and put it in the square button, right? Now, maybe there could be issues, because obviously if you're adding it to the square button, that means, and since you can interact with NPCs out in the world where you can do combat, it's possible that adding that there will be bad, right? By adding latency. To be like, oh, well, sure, but every time you're pressing square, which is going to happen a lot, every time you're pressing square, we're going to have to run that code to check for NPCs. Is there an NPC nearby? So it could be that they intentionally chose it to be, X, because they're like, well, you're not going to be pressing X that frequently, so it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if and like the times when you're going to be pressing X the most will be in towns where you have the leeway. And you have to be consistent. So you can't be like, oh, well, interacting with NPCs in towns is square and interacting out in the world is X. You'd have to be consistent, or else it'd just be too confusing. So maybe that's it. Maybe pressing square to interact with NPCs introduces latency in combat outside, because it's wasting those NPC interaction checks of code to go through it. Now, realistically, you could also just, omit it to be like, oh, well, if you're in battle, don't, right? Because like once you go into battle, you're in a little cordoned off area. There's no NPCs there. There can't be NPCs there. So you could just have a check. But again, it's another check where it's like, I mean, it's just changing one check from another rather than checking for an NPC nearby. You're saying, are you in battle? Yes. Okay, then ignore this checking for NPC code. I don't know. Maybe this was a consideration. Maybe they did carefully consider and realize, nah, don't want to interfere with combat, so we're going to put as little, we're going to map as little as possible to square and triangle, which are the buttons you're going to be pressing the most in combat. Maybe. But Genshin does it. Oh yeah, Genshin actually yeah. But Genshin's squares just to pick up items in battle. Like Genshin doesn't have square map to anything in combat, I don't think. So it's just like the interact button. They understand, yeah, we're just gonna do it like that. But Genshin doesn't have a heavy attack and light attack button like Visions of Mana do. So they only need one button for basic attacks. Actually, wait, no. Huh. Oh no, they map something different. That's it. They have their dodge. Visions of Mana's dodge. So X is interact and jump. Circle is dodge. Square is basic attack. Triangle is special attack / heavy attack. But the difference is that Genshin puts their dodge on R1 instead. So they have an extra face button available, which they just dedicate to just interacting with objects and NPCs. So I forget what R1 was in Visions of Mana. Maybe it mattered. Oh yeah, it did matter because you held R2 and R1. No, you hold R1 to do it's the shortcut menu for some of your abilities. You can press R1 and then press a face button to do one of 4 shortcutted abilities. So yeah, I forgot. The game is much more complicated because it has a lot more classes and abilities. So they have shortcuts for accessing that shit. Okay, so never mind. So yeah, it's kind of tough. I still think they could probably put it on Square, but maybe they did, and maybe they realized, oh shit, doing this just adds an extra few milliseconds of latency every time you press Square while you're searching for an NPC that doesn't exist while in combat, and that can add up. Or they just didn't want to bog combat down with that type of shit. But it definitely didn't feel amazing in towns where you're just trying to jump around and you accidentally get into a NPC dialogue thing, or where you're trying to run away and then you try to jump, but because an NPC's too close, you're now interacting with them. That's just the difference between the two games. Genshin keeps the character design relatively simple. Each character does only a certain set amount of things, a relatively small subset of things. You just have the basic attack, skill, and burst. And the whole point of the game is to swap between the 4 characters using those simple techniques to do lots of damage. Whereas Visions of Mana is mostly revolving around you're making one character super powerful and decking him out with a variety of skills, which you then hand use. And you can swap between characters, but you're only swapping between 3. And realistically, you don't need to even swap at all. You could just rely on either manually telling each character which skill to do using the menu system, or swapping them and manually controlling them on the fly. But each character is far more advanced and nuanced. Okay, I think I'm going to call it with that. Getting close to about an hour of walking. And that's pretty good. A little short, but only 52 minutes. But a 52-minute walk is fine. I just didn't feel like stopping at 38 minutes. That was a little... I mean, a 30-minute walk is still pretty good, but 38 is still still a little bit short. So I decided to see what other quests I had to do. Realistically, if I didn't do my... If I wasn't spending time talking, I probably would have finished the quest. I would have focused on just the quest, doing the quest itself. But because I ended up... so I'm probably fine. It's unhealthy masochism, but I'm probably fine. Probably. But yeah, so... Yeah, I'll save that for later. Yeah, because I'm pretty much done. Like, I don't have any other world quests. I don't have any of these. All hunting reach for all of them. Did all these. Oh yeah, it's the story quest. It's the Travel Chronicles, so we're going to get 3 more at some point. I think next patch 5.2 is going to go presumably to Chaska's tribe because she's the limited banner she's going to get. So we're probably going to go to her tribe. So we'll see what new section opens up. I would assume it's also going to be near the volcano too, because there's been a few quests that involve the volcano. But I imagine that's going to be a lengthy world quest. I would hope, really. I think the Archon quest is the Archon quest. We might even I think we're kind of almost done with that. Maybe one act, but I think the world quest revolving around the volcano will be a pretty decent chunk of shit. But we'll see how that rolls out. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.